Alright, so as promised, we're going to do a 1 week garden update. All these plants have only been in here for a week, pretty much exactly, and they have grown quite a bit. They're not going crazy yet, but they've grown quite a bit, and I'm just going to go over, show you a quick portion of what they look like and how much they've changed, and some future plans. So here's our main field, and as you can see, the zucchini is going crazy, and we are having some trouble with moisture retention, so we're gonna get some mulch in here very quickly. In fact, that might even be part of this episode. I'll just decide whether I use it as an update video or a build video. But the best, of course, right here is our pumpkin. It's growing upwards and it's going crazy. The leaves are so much bigger. This thing started in a very small pot, so I'll be showing what they look like before and after too, of course. Our tomatoes are already flowering. We're getting some on the bell here. The cherries haven't started yet, but they are getting there. They're almost up to the first rung. Most of them up to the first rung on the trellises here. In the middle center, they haven't grown. Well, they've grown quite a bit, but they started off pretty small, so they're not doing that much bigger. We already got some buds coming out on here, and on this one, this is probably the back row. Usually grows the slowest because it's the worst soil, but I've been coming back here specifically and watering, and we're gonna put a lot of attention into these guys, especially with, well, I just learned a whole new way of gardening, which is using a lot more mulch and compost and stuff than the steer manure potting mix that I did, and cardboard it even uses too. So we are gonna try and resurrect that and bring back a bunch of mulch here and try and cover it all up, because the weeds will grow pretty quick. In fact, I just started to learn about syntropic agroforestry, which is a thing we are going to be doing we're going to be incorporating a bit of that in here, but basically it is planting different levels of plants in kind of a natural way, which isn't really going to work here because these are vegetable plants. But the way we're going to do it is we're going to start planting a bunch of stuff in between here so that the weeds won't even have a chance to grow. We're going to do in between here, because it's going to get very clouded, we're going to do like spices that I like dill and oregano. We'll just cover the whole ground with oregano, so that even though the stuff we might get some things coming through, most of the stuff is going to be edible. And that's really the goal that we're going to go after. If there are any plants in here, they're not going to be weeds or grass. They're going to be stuff that is supposed to be in here, basically. Anyways, yeah, all the tomatoes are doing very nice, and we're going to keep focusing on them a lot more. It's branching out a bit. I always forget how fast they grow, but man, these cucumbers are going crazy. I'm pretty sure they didn't grow this fast last year. Been giving them a lot of attention, watering specifically around. We've had some drainage here, so we're gonna have to move some dirt and raise the path, and then the mulch will hold in the rest. But yeah, look at how tall that is right there. That is already turning into a bush. In fact, I usually wait 2 weeks before starting to build trellises for these guys, but I don't know if we can even have time for that. There's so much going on right now. There's a lot of work to be done over there. We're going to talk about it. And what we're having here, these leaves are, I think I need to get some more water on that main one there. Most of them are draining off, but all the rest of them are looking really nice with the leaves, and they are flowering like crazy already. Look at that. That one is it's almost ready to make a flower, and we're getting flowers all over the place. Peppers are known for flowering very quickly, at least in my experience. The ones back here in less sun are doing better, but probably because the water is flowing towards them. Again, yes, we're gonna mulch this place out, so that will help a lot. The eggplant, this thing is crazy. It was tiny when we got it. It's already got 4 giant leaves and showing signs of a lot more growth. That's why I only got one, because these things are crazy. We're probably gonna put a bunch of small plants, maybe some lettuce and chard and stuff all over the place. We're gonna fill this place up in the in-between spots with plants that probably won't take too many nutrients, because we want these to do well. Just some ground cover. The herb's probably the most growth, like especially this cilantro here, which is already turning into a bush. I've already used it a bunch, and I think that has caused it to grow even quicker. Use the bottom parts down here, and there'll be more nutrients. I guess it will absorb more sun coming from the top and make more leaves. The fennel too. Fennel's doing well. We're already getting a new branch here, and these have grown very well. The one down there is kind of dying off. Not much change in here. Chives are growing bigger. These are growing a lot bigger, and we got like a third one here that I didn't notice before. Basil, yeah, the basil's doing well, but you're already getting this like folding in. You want it to curl. It's already folding in. I don't really know what to do for that. I'm hoping the mulch will help it retain the moisture and stuff. Might be getting scorched. But yeah, parsley, dill is my favorite because we're gonna use this to make dumplings later, and maybe I'll have a video on that. And I want a ton of dill. In fact, over there with the cucumbers, we were gonna load it up with dill and stuff. Because like, look, this ground's already getting some weeds in it and stuff over there. Kale's going, it's going pretty good. I mean, they started the smallest. They were like barely sprouts, so I guess that is pretty good. The rosemary, that thing's already taken off. But yeah, it's what was expected. Besides like the pumpkin and cucumbers, I did not expect them to take that fast, and eggplant. Most of it is doing what I expected. The grape here, I had to move it a little because we're cutting back here, so you'll see in another video. Yeah, we actually are getting some flowers on the Merlot here. A lot of them, I say, and now I can't find them. Yeah, down here. Look at all those flowers. I'm really hoping we can do some good fertilizing with this year and get enough to make a bottle of wine or something. And yeah, of course, the passion fruit's going crazy. We are probably going to get a couple hundred fruits this year. But I want to talk about this area because, well, we completely changed the plan here. So I know I said that I wanted a pond here, but I've gotten really into the gardening aspect, and especially with tropical farming, something that I've always wanted to do, and probably in this area. And now that it's flat, there's no like holes in the ground. I actually like it a lot better, and I think we could do more than just have a pond here. The original plan was to have a pond around here, put some tropical plants around it, make it look nice, have a little waterfall, and then the rest area would be completely grass. But I've gotten into this in tropical agroforestry quite a bit more than I thought I would, and I have a different plan. It's kind of hard to explain, but what we would have is we would mulch out the entire areas. We would put some sort of great medium for tropical plants, and the idea is we'd have rows, one here, and I think we could fit another one here, even with a small path here. Don't know if that would work for sure because there's not a lot of space, and we're talking fruit trees here, large trees like banana and avocado and stuff like that. But ever since I visited Hawaii, I got really inspired in tropical farming, so I've always wanted to do this, and it's hot enough for sure. So what we would do is once we cleared all this ground out, we'd lay down a bunch of grass in the center and maybe some on the sides to stop all the weeds from growing. And with this in tropical agroforestry, what you do, well, what I've known so far is there are like a few large trees spaced out like the way large trees would, but of course there's going to be a ton of other space that's not being used. So in that space we would put maybe some smaller trees, and then in between the space of those there would be like ground shrubs and then even smaller bushes that would cover the ground and make sure that we don't get any weeds and we use all of the space. And in that way it would grow similar to a real tropical forest, utilize all of the space, and it would be very dense. You want it to be pretty dense because that helps with tons of moisture retention, and eventually it's self-sustaining and doesn't even need to be watered or fertilized or anything. So what we would do is we would have 2 rows, one there and one here, planting all those trees, and just have a beautiful nice green grass going down the center. It'd be nice, you're walking there barefoot, that's always the goal. And it would also be very profitable, and it would look beautiful because we'd have all these fruit trees here, and then you just see giant passion fruit draping down and tons of great stuff going on. So we'll talk more about this. But I think that is our plans for here. I think that's what we're gonna do, if not a pond, and maybe we can do even both. Maybe have a very small like mini pond, and it always looks good to have a water feature with tropical plants. But I think that's what we're gonna do, just since I've been so into the gardening, and with all these new information I've learned, like we really could be using this space much more profitably than we are right now.